Edgar Allan Poe was born on January 19 of 1809 and died on October 7, 1849. Was an American writer, poet, critic, and editor. He became famous because of his evocative and unique style in poems and short stories using an intense dark narrative. His imaginative storytelling and tales of mystery and horror gave birth to the modern detective story. Poe's father and mother, both professional actors, died before the poet was 3 years old. After many years, he moved to Boston and enlisted in the United States Army. His first collections of poems, Tamerlane and Other Poems, was published that year. He is the kind of short horror stories. Roderick Usher, due to the strange events of his home and his delicate state of health, calls a childhood friend in search of company. This friend acts a witness of what will happen later and as a narrator of the story. The disease is a constant in most of the characters in the story, from Usher himself, his sister Lady Madeline, and the house where they live. Also, the mystery that surrounds this disease, the uncertainty of their condition, but also the certainty of Usher, sickly and eccentric man, that he will die terrified. Lady Madeline dies one night, victim of her illness, and is then filed in a vault of the mansion. However, several days later, Lady Madeline seems to come back to life once again, to kill her brother of terror, just as he had been practiced by him. The narrator leaves, then the Usher house dies. It is a text like those of Edgar Allan Poe, full of terror. It shows the importance of love between the brothers. It was an exasperating coexistence that ended up killing them both. The characters of the story are: first, the main character of the story is Usher. The sadness and loneliness were evident in his way of life. You can see the abandonment he has towards him and his house. He looked like a skull, big eyes, thin limbs, ugly nose, and thin chin. Second, Madeline is the sister of Roderick Usher. She had a terminal illness, which was the great cause of what happened in that house. Third, one of Usher's few friends was the narrator. In the story, he tells the story of Roderick from his point of view. The protagonist, a disturbed being who accumulates resentment and insecurities, becomes alcoholic, and the alcohol disinhibits his problems and gives free rein to his resentment. Being violent with his animals, his wife, and particularly with his favorite pet, and with whom he had a special relationship, a black cat named Pluto, the same that was later mutilated and then hanged by who was once a loving and attentive owner. The house of the protagonist will burn and only survive a wall with the figure of a hanged cat, issue that causes a huge impact on him. Over time, it seems that his life is back on track, until he adopts a cat again, because he reminds him of what he did before because of his physical similarity, and because a strange stain on his body reminds him of what happened with Pluto. In a fit of anger, he tries to kill his pet again, but his wife stops him and dies in the process. When trying to get rid of her corpse, hiding it behind a wall, he buried the cat with her, who would then be responsible for the police finding him guilty.
For all the strong scenes that can be read in the text, in my opinion, the most terrifying of the history is the addiction and the issues that the protagonist has because of alcohol. The characters of the story are: first, the murder. The ranchman who, for the cause of excess alcohol, lost the coherence of their actions, preventing conscience from weighing him, causing his death sentence. Second, Pluto, the black cat, an animal that at the beginning of the session was loved by its owner, but is the first victim of it because of the madness. Third, wife, the most frequent and patient of the victims. For example, the death of a cat becomes a tool for fear the danger, but a false alarm is hidden. Fourth, the police investigate the disappearance of the wife and the results.
To finish, I really like the way Edgar Allan Poe's way to tell his stories. From my point of view, he tells everyday problems of society, of family life, as a couple, among friends, etc. Everything that there is with that touch of terror to enlarge it and be more impactful.